Hi, it's Miss Clemens, and today we're going to talk about the Bible story Zacchaeus. And I'm sure you guys remember the story, but let's listen to it and see if you hear anything different today, okay? Zacchaeus, this is a story about a man that many people didn't like. They called him a sinner, which is funny because aren't we all sinners? Don't we all make mistakes and do things we shouldn't? The story starts with Jesus entering a place called Jericho. These days, Jesus had been going around telling parables and performing many miracles. And we talked about some of those miracles, right? The word was spreading about this man named Jesus and the amazing things he was doing and saying. So it was common when Jesus came to a place, people would rush to see him. Just imagine if a famous person came walking into your town or down your street. People would be telling their friends, and very quickly there would be a large crowd around them, don't you think? This is how it was for Jesus. In this town that Jesus was entering lived a man named Zacchaeus. He was the chief tax collector in this place and had lots of money. In this town if you've heard the word taxes before, it's probably not because people like them. Everyone that works pays taxes to the government or the people that run the city and country you live in. In some countries, taxes help pay for doctor visits or fix roads, pay for parks, or help those who can't work. Taxes, for the most part, help us live better, so they really are a good thing. The problem is that sometimes, and that includes the times in the Bible, people who got the tax money didn't always spend it like they should. Or they took some of the money for themselves, which is called what? That is stealing. So the people from Jericho didn't like Zacchaeus very much, especially because he had lots of money and a big house. They figured he had taken some of the tax money for himself. Zacchaeus had heard a commotion and soon realized that Jesus was in Jericho. So he rushed like everyone else to see him. When he got to the crowd, he couldn't see anything. He figured Jesus was in the middle of or somewhere, but standing on his tiptoes, he still couldn't see. You probably know what that's like when a lot of adults are around and you're standing next to them. Okay? Everybody around that adults are taller than you. That's how Zacchaeus felt. Well, Zacchaeus wasn't very tall for a grown-up, and he couldn't ask someone to pick him up so he could see. So he saw a sycamore tree in the corner of his eye and decided to climb it so he could see Jesus. I just wonder if Zacchaeus thought it might be strange for a grown man to climb a tree, don't you? Especially since he was an important person in government. Whatever, he thought he did it anyway and didn't seem to care. When Jesus reached the spot he looked up and said to him, "Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I must stay at your house today." So he came down right away and welcomed him gladly. This was good because, first he knew Zacchaeus' name without asking him. And then he didn't care that other people didn't like Zacchaeus. He wanted to visit him at his house anyway. Jesus said that I must stay at your house today. That means that Jesus knew that God wanted him to stay there, and he obeyed him. Jesus asked to go to Zacchaeus' house in front of everyone. And as soon as they heard this, they all started talking among themselves. They were shaking their heads and saying, "He has gone to be the guest of a sinner." I'm sure they both knew what people were saying, but Zacchaeus jumped out of the tree and said to the Lord, Look, Lord, here and now I give half of my money to the poor. And if I have cheated or stole anything out of anything, I will pay it back. He actually said, if I have cheated or stole anybody out of anything, I will pay back 4 times the amount. The important part about this is that Zacchaeus had a change of heart. I don't know if he was already thinking about repaying people back, or he just knew what he should do, and he saw Jesus and he talked to him about it. He also said that he would pay people back 4 times the amount. So that means if he owed them $1, he was going to give them $4 extra. Zacchaeus didn't have to do this, but he wanted to make things more than right. When Jesus heard this, he said, "Today salvation has come to this house, because this man too is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man came to seek and to save what was lost." Jesus meant that he had forgiven Zacchaeus of his sins, and that Zacchaeus was good, and that God loved him too, and he knew he had a good heart. Then the very last part, Jesus said that he came to seek and to save the lost. This was the whole point as to why God sent his Son to come on earth, to find those who didn't know God and were lost, and to show them who God is, so they could live forever with him in heaven. Hope you heard something you didn't before, and I hope you'll remember that story. Also, ask your parent for this handout, and you can color it today. It is a picture of Zacchaeus in the tree with Jesus standing by. Okay? Now, we were talking about farm animals. So today, we're going to conclude, and I mean, when I say that, I mean we're going to end with the donkey and the horse. So let's see what we can find out about them. Donkeys and horses are both farm animals. People ride horses and donkeys. Horses and donkeys also pull wagons and carts to help farmers with work. Horses and donkeys eat grass and hay. The donkey and the horse in this photo are standing in grassy pastures. They will stretch down their head and nibble the grass. They also like to eat grains, such as corn or oats. Feeding a horse can be fun. If you hold your hand out in a bowl, shape of a bowl, with an apple in it, the horse will eat it. He will dip its mouth in. Its soft lips will move gently on your hand as it eats the treat. Also, horses do a whiny sound, like a neigh, and the donkey does what's called a bray. So he goes hee-haw. You may have heard that sound. And also, so what we're going to look at is that horses also, they can walk slowly, or they can trot, which is like a jog, or they can speed up. So they have several speeds. So now we're going to compare them, because they do look alike, right? Okay, the donkey have longer ears. They both have 4 legs. They both have a fur on them. They both have a mane. They have a nostrils. They have a mouth. But the horse is what? He's bigger. So I hope that you learned something about them today. And what we're going to do next is we're going to go over here and read this sentence and take a look at the structure. Our sentence today says, we went to the store. And it's a statement, so I put a period there. I know you noticed that the first letter in this first word is a capital or uppercase W. There is a space between the first and the second word. Then we spaced again when we went to the third word. We did another space to the fourth word. Then there was a space and then our fifth and last word. That's how we write our sentences. Did you notice that our sentence today have how many sight words in it? Did you say 4? You're right. We have we went to the and or the. So we have 4 sight words in that sentence. So today, I want you to listen for how many sight words that you use today when you're talking to your parents or your sibling. Pay attention, okay? All right. So now we're going to do some counting by 10. And here it goes. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. One day you will learn the concept of that. Right now, that's not what's important to me. I just want you to learn to say them. Okay? So, now we're going to go over and we're going to do a few sets again today. This is probably it. So let's go with this. Today, we're going to use, this is the number 8. So, we're actually going to use we use 8 cubes. And we shook them and threw them over here. Now take a look at this. This one is a little bit over on this side, but most of it's on this side. So what we're going to do, we're going to push it there. This one, where I can see, most of it is on this side. So it has to come over here. We have, what we have here, we have a set of 4, and we have a set of 4. We have 2 sets of 4, which mean we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But because they're on a separate line, they're sets. 2 sets of 4. If I remove one, it doesn't change the fact that you have a set. Now you have a set of 3. Same on this side. You have a set of 3. So now you have 2 sets of 3. So now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we had 8 and we took 2 and it left us with 6. So now what we're going to do, we're going to add a cube to it. Add another cube. And this is 9, the number 9. So we're going to shake this up. Uh-oh, sorry. We're going to shake this up again and we're going to throw them in again. Now we have 2 sets again. We have 1 set of 4 and 1 set of 5. If we take away 1 and we take away 1, we still have sets. We still have 2 sets. Now we just have a set of 3 and a set of 4. Okay? So when we took away, it was called subtraction. When we took 1 from 5, we were left with 4. When we took 1 from 4, we were left with 3. So 4 plus 1 is 5, and 3 plus 1 is 4. Okay, so I hope you've had fun doing that if you did it. And that's all for today. You guys have a wonderful weekend. And as always, I miss you. Bye.